The scriptures had predicted the resurgence of Vedic knowledge all over the world. Saints had foreseen the appearance of a person who would fulfill this prophecy. The darkness of ignorance would not last for long, for the sun was destined to rise.
Srila Prabhupada is that spiritual ambassador who descended upon this planet for the re-spiritualization of human society. His empowered associates, in a mood of complete surrender to Srila Prabhupada's will, dedicated their lives to fulfill the unlimited desires that he had to flood the world with Krishna Consciousness. One of his foremost desires was to present a scientific basis of Krishna Consciousness to the intellectual community of the entire world.
Bhakta Damodar,
your name will be Swarup Damodar Das.
When Srila Prabhupada met Swarup Damodar Prabhu, he knew without a doubt that Krishna had sent this personality to assist him fulfill this desire. Srila Prabhupada was overjoyed to know that he hailed from the legendary and mystical kingdom of Manipur, or the land of jewels. Manipur has been a Vaishnav state from the time of Babruvahan, the great son of Arjun. But the wave of devotion that turned the entire kingdom to Gaudiya Vaishnavism took place in the 18th century during the reign of the great Maharaj Bhagyacandra. Maharaj Bhagyacandra was the grand disciple of Srila Narottam Das Thakur and a devoted disciple of the great Ganga Narayan Chakravarti.
All glories to Maharaj Bhagyacandra.
all glories to our king.
Hail the King of Manipur.
Hail to the king of Manipur.
Maharaj
All glories to our king.
Maharaj Bhagyacandra ki
Jai.
Maharaj Bhagyacandra ki
Jai.
Maharaj Bhagyacandra ki Jai.
1762. Manipur was in the grip of chaos. The king of Burma, Maharaj Hisinusin, had attacked.
How I hate to have done this. In the history of Manipur, no one among the great descendants of Babru Vahan has ever had to flee away from his own kingdom like this.
I am sorry to have suggested Your Highness to do this. But the prime duty of the servant is to protect his master.
But as the king of Manipur, this Maharaj Bhagyacandra will always have to bear the guilt of deserting his own people and leaving them unprotected.
But just consider the situation, Maharaj. For several years, we have never faced any enmity from the king of Burma. So the sudden and massive attack had taken all of us by surprise.
And Maharaj, to protect the royal family was our prime concern.
And so, all we need to do now is to rally our forces.
If the king of Burma thinks that Maharaj Bhagyacandra is a coward because he has fled, then he should know that it was not out of fear. The lion will attack from a strategic vantage point at the right time and will regain what is his rightful claim.
Maharaj, although we hate to say this, but the bitter truth is that without the conspiracy of your uncle Talhaiba, the king of Burma would never have dared attack us.
Yes, Maharaj. This alliance has led to the sudden change of events.
I should have always foreseen the craftiness and diplomacy of my greedy and envious uncle.
This way, O Queen.
Come. Sit. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. But I don't understand. What sin we have committed that we have to hide like thieves in the middle of the jungle in this way?
Do not despair, O Queen. I'm sure the Lord knows what is best for us. The bhagya of this lowly Bhagyacandra is now in his hands. He is the real king of Manipur. I am simply the servant king, trying to be his representative. Oh, my ancestral gods and goddesses, your sacred land of Manipur and its people are now in peril. Your homes, your temples, your lands are occupied by the aggressors. As a king, I have a duty to you. How far is the kingdom of Ahom from here?
Not very far, Your Highness.
All right then. Prepare the horses and the chariots for the journey. Our entourage shall proceed towards the neighboring state of Ahom immediately. Kyamba,
Yes, Your Highness.
send a messenger ahead to King Rajeshwar, the king of Ahom, seeking for his friendship and shelter.
As you wish, Your Highness.
We can only pray to Lord that we may be given shelter there.
King Swargadev Rajeshwar of Ahom, now known as Assam, had heard of Maharaj Bhagyachandra's virtues and gladly gave him political asylum. King Rajeshwar made arrangements for the stay of the royal couple in the vicinity of the state palace. Soon, both the kings became close friends.
This is an exciting experience. Sporting with the king of Ahom.
Your skill and valor in fighting gives me a glimpse of your Kshatriya spirit on the battlefield. You could be a difficult opponent, even for the most formidable aggressor.
But Maharaj, your prowess is no less. And I am sure that together our allied forces would make us invincible, right?
Certainly, Maharaj, certainly.
I am very fortunate to have you as my friend, ally, and shelter. Indeed, me and my family shall ever remain indebted to you for your excellent hospitality.
Maharaj, this is the best thing I ever did. The king of Ahom is extremely happy that Providence has selected him to play host to a noble personality like Maharaj Bhagyacandra.
Your excellent hospitality cannot eclipse my determination to drive away the invaders out of Manipur. I will consider the mission of my life successful only when I can achieve two things: consolidate the kingdoms of Manipur and re-establish the same spirit and the mood of devotion as propagated by the followers of Srila Narottam Das Thakur.
The sound of conch at this very moment is an auspicious omen heralding your eminent victory, Maharaj Bhagyacandra.
Oh, it's time for the Lord's Aarti ceremony. Maharaj, please excuse me. We shall meet later.
Auspiciousness reigns over home due to the presence of a towering personality like Maharaj Bhagyacandra.
All glories to your highness.
It seems that our Maharaj is very impressed by his newfound friendship.
People throughout our kingdom are talking about the virtues of the great King Bhagyacandra.
Maharaj Bhagyacandra has become a very close friend. Please do not become lax in the service of the royal couple. King Rajeshwar does not want even the slightest discomfort to be given to his friend. Anyway, tell me, what brings both of you here?
Here is a letter from the maternal uncle of King Bhagyacandra.
Maternal uncle? Isn't he the one who conspired with the Burmese to invade Manipur?
Yes, Maharaj.
Read the letter. Let us see what he has to say now.
Respectful greetings to His Highness, the great King Swargadev Rajeshwar of Ahom. from this humble servant of Manipur. I deeply regret bothering you, but the matter is of grave importance and merits your serious attention.
Read further.
You are a kind-hearted and generous king, ready to give shelter to anyone who comes to you in distress. But I would like to warn you that the person who has come to you as King Bhagyacandra is an impostor. It saddens me to see a great king like you being exploited by a cheater. He tried to cheat the kingdom of Manipur, and I had to take the help of Burmese to get rid of him. Now he is eyeing the kingdom of Ahom. Maharaj Bhagyacandra was a divine king with supernatural powers, and it would not be difficult to test his distinction in performing any feat. Please consider me your well-wisher and accept my request to destroy this pseudo-king without any further delay. Burn him to ashes, feed him to the crocodiles, leave no trace of him or his kinsmen. O king, the state of Ahom calls out to you to uphold our honor. This is also in the interest of friendly relations between Ahom and Manipur.
Strange message.
Anybody who has witnessed the devotion of that pious king will think 1,000 times before pointing an accusing finger at him.
I don't want to believe this letter. Can what meets the eye and felt by the heart be ever untrue?
But Maharaj, it would not be wise to close our eyes to the contents of this letter and believe it to be untrue without even considering the facts.
Imposter in the role of a friend? This news surprises me.
Life is often full of surprises, Maharaj.
Being a wise and intelligent king, Your Highness can well understand that if the need be, a king should not hesitate to treat even one's own family members with suspicion. And after all, it has not even been a long time since we know him. He may betray you.
He cannot do this to me. He cannot do this to me. I have given my heart in friendship to him.
Ambition knows no friendship, Maharaj. Therefore, in my view, there is no harm in putting him under arrest and questioning him before it's too late.
Arrest that great soul? The Lord will never forgive us if we are wrong in judging him.
But what if we are right, Maharaj?
Oh, this letter has raised a storm in my mind.
Maharaj, there is yet another way to resolve this dilemma.
What is it?
Since Maharaj Bhagyacandra is renowned for his supernatural powers, let us challenge him to catch and tame a wild elephant in a public arena unarmed. If he is the real King Bhagyacandra, it should not be a difficult task for him. And if he is not, then he shall meet his rightful destination.
It's humanly impossible task.
The preservation of friendship now stands in stark conflict with the revelation of truth. Tomorrow in the arena, we shall either see a miracle or the execution of a vile impostor.
I lost my kinsmen. I lost my throne. I lost my people. And now I have lost the trust of my dear friends. The seeds of suspicion sown in his mind, like weeds, have choked up the creeper of our friendship.
It is so painful to see the change in the attitude of our royal host.
However, he has yet not behaved with me like an enemy. If he would have done so, I would have chosen to fight with him. But instead, he has shown me an honor which I do not deserve.
Oh Lord, what will happen in the arena tomorrow?
Death. Death is like a debt which all of us have to pay to God one day. So stop worrying, my dear queen. You are a wife of a Kshatriya. Therefore, it does not befit you to cry in this manner. In the case of my death inside the arena tomorrow, the Lord will continue to be your protector and guide.
In spite of the turbulent turn of events in Maharaj Bhagyachandra's life, his mind remained equipoised and calm, like a steady flame amidst a storm.
Oh, my dear Lord, is this yet another trial that you're putting me through? Oh, subduer of Kaliya, you are the most benevolent, well-wishing friend and protector of your devotee. I am a lowly person, having no power or strength. What can I do now but turn to you for your guidance and mercy? If you so desire, let me be crushed by that elephant while chanting your holy names. And if you so desire, let me be victorious, such that devotion to you may be glorified through me, O Lord. Devotion to you may be glorified through me. I stand in the shadow of your mercy. I stand in the shadow of your mercy.
My dear Bhagyacandra, you have once again purchased me by your selfless, unconditional devotion. What the people of Ahom shall witness tomorrow will be recorded in history as evidence of my assured protection for my unflinching devotees. You should enter the arena tomorrow carrying a garland and japa beads in your hand. Please know that soon you will be the sole king of Manipur. Upon regaining the kingdom, you should install my deity and name it Govindji. This deity should be carved from a certain old jackfruit tree growing on the slopes of a hill known as Kaina. That tree is non-different from me, and the physical features of this deity should match those you are seeing now.
My great Lord Govindji, I am your humble and helpless devotee. I do not have the least qualification to be your servant and instrument. Yet, you have chosen a weakling and pauper to be your servant. May my arms always stay strong in your service, my Lord. May my arms always stay strong in your service.
After installing the deity, you should arrange for the performance of a Lila for my pleasure. in which my deity should be worshipped with songs and dances. Behold, O Bhagyacandra, and envision in detail the kinds of dress the dancers should wear and the manner in which the songs and dances should be composed. Victory of my dear devotee is assured tomorrow and always.
The next morning saw crowds of anxious people with palpitating hearts and eager eyes. The arena was packed to capacity. King Rajeshwar and his royal dignitaries took their respective seats.
Unleash the monster! Oh no! I can't bear to see this! Just see the contrast. The elephant is so wild and ferocious. But the king looks so calm and dignified. But look, it appears as though the elephant is being repeatedly struck by some invisible force. Yes, slow down. I can't understand what is going on. And just see, it's amazing. The king is moving fearlessly towards the elephant. And now he is garlanding some unseen presence on the elephant's head. Mysterious! Simply mysterious! He has done it! It's great! He has tamed the wild elephant! Maharaj Bhagyacandra ki! Jai! Maharaj Bhagyacandra ki! Jai!
Bravo! I am humbled by your prowess. None other than the great Bhagyacandra can achieve such power, strength and influence. Only one who is favored by the Supreme Lord can achieve such a victory. Please forgive me, my friend. I was poisoned by suspicion. Please forgive me.
Your words embarrass me, O great King Rajeshwar. Who am I to forgive anyone? Whatever happens, does so by the supreme will of our dear Lord Govindji.
All glories to the wonderful character of Maharaj Bhagyacandra.
I am only glad that I have won the love and confidence of my dear friend.
Ministers! Yes, Maharaj. Alert the watchtowers. Summon all the chariots to the city gates. We have to overthrow the Burmese and reinstate Maharaj Bhagyacandra on the throne of Manipur. Indeed, your crafty uncle needs to be taught a lesson. Please accept my full assistance in this matter. I will supply all my men and armed forces to help you win back your kingdom. May the glories of Maharaj Bhagyacandra be spread all over the world.
Maharaj Bhagyacandra ki! Jai! Maharaj Bhagyacandra ki! Jai!
After an arduous trek from Ahom through the jungles, Maharaj Bhagyacandra returned with his forces to Manipur and regained the throne. He restored the kingdom to normalcy and set about to consolidate its small kingdoms into one state. One day, an unusual incident took place at the palace.
Well done. Well done. Well done. After having tasted the bitter fruit of oppression, as a king, it is my duty to train my people to protect themselves. Well done.
Please forgive me for my intrusion, Maharaj. But there is an unassuming tribal lady who seeks your urgent and private audience. She says she has a message from a person with an authority higher than the king.
Sounds interesting. Please let her in.
Maharaj, your life has always been full of such unusual events.
Welcome to my home, O mother. Tell me, how can I serve you? Ekant.
All glories to the King of Manipur. I am a tribal woman from the village of Kaina.
Kaina?
I have a message from a very beautiful boy. Yesterday, when I was cultivating my vegetables in my field,
your fruits and vegetables seem so juicy and nice. I would like to eat them. If you don't mind.
Hey child, go away. Otherwise, I will complain to your mother.
My mother? My mother is busy making butter for me. But today, I'll eat your fruits.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Hey child, come here. Are you really hungry? I'm so charmed by your beauty. Is there anything I can do for you?
Will you do anything for me?
Yes, of course. Being struck by your beauty, anyone will do anything for you.
Then, please convey a message to the king.
King? You mean Maharaj Bhagyacandra?
Yes. Tell him that I'm very angry with him.
Angry with the king of Manipur? But why? What could our noble and kind king do to you?
He had made a promise to me some time back. But now, he's forgotten about it. Please go and remind him to fulfill it for me.
On regaining the kingdom, you should install my deity and name it Govindji. This deity should be carved from a certain old jackfruit tree growing on the slopes of a hill known as Kaina.
Oh noble mother, you must have done thousands of meritorious deeds to have achieved such a great fortune. Now, please take me to your village of Kaina where you saw that young boy.
On the slope of Kaina, the king found the old jackfruit tree of which Lord Krishna had spoken. The king arranged to fell the great tree, had it brought back to his capital, and appointed expert sculptors to carve the deity. He described to the sculptors the exact specifications of how the deity should look, according to the vision he had seen.
Having this uncommon feeling while completing this particular deity. Yes, it surely has been a divine experience, isn't it? Yes. It is as if you're being supervised by some unseen power. That's true.
Kotu! Oh, Kotu! Is the deity ready? King is on his way. He will be coming at any moment. We have tried to the best of our capabilities to carve this deity. My only prayer is that at least this time, let the deity match the king's vision. It has been several times now we have been carving deities for Maharaj Bhagyacandra. Yes, you are right. And although king always acknowledged the form of deity was beautiful, but he said it that it did not match his vision. That's true. Every time he tells us to carve any particular deity, he opulently installs them in beautiful temples. But then he tells us to try it again.
What I'm worried the most is that not much is left of that jackfruit tree of which Lord Krishna wanted the deity to be carved out. If Maharaj Bhagyacandra rejects the deity this time, then we are into deep trouble.
Let's not think of discouraging thoughts. Whatever Govindji wills will happen anyways.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, yes. King is coming.
My dear friend, you are attending on a higher person. It is not right to offer respect to an inferior person like me in his presence.
Maharaj, shall we?
Yes, yes. I am very eager to behold the deity. Jai, my lord. You have arrived at last. Today is the most happy day of my life. From today, my kinsmen, my ministers, my family and myself shall ever remain in dedicated service, loving service of our dear Lord Govindji. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Congratulations! Congratulations! You have done it at last. After carving several deities, you have finally carved the exact form that I had seen. Here, take this. This is your reward. And now, on the full moon day, arrange a grand festival greater than the coronation of any king ever for the grand installation of our dear Lord Govindji. Let there be joyous festivities of devotional music and dance, and we will perform Rasa Lila for our dear Rasa Bihari.
Maharaj, Rasa Lila? But how can the Lord perform Rasa Lila without his beloved Srimati Radharani? Where is she? Who will play her role?
The Lord has already chosen her. I will offer my very own chaste and beautiful daughter, Princess Bimbavati, to play the role of Radharani. And now, listen carefully to the instructions that Lord Govindji has given regarding the specific attributes of the divine pastime. The dance should not be merely an artistic performance. It must be done for the pleasure of the Lord and spiritual upliftment of the audience. Krishna's pastimes take place at the highest level of spiritual devotion, and the performers must convey the pastime of the Lord in their purity, grace, chastity, and deep spiritual feelings, which are the hallmark of the Rasa Lila.
Namami Raseshwaram, Namami Raseshwaram, Namami Raseshwaram. नाचता दुहो राधा माधवो चरणे नुपुर बाजे गीतं गीतं सोनार नुपुर बाजे गीतं गीतं रास मंडल माथे नाचता दुहो राधा माधवो बाजे मृदंग तक धुन धुन तक धुन 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 टिक 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 टक टिक 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 शब्द स्वर तीन ब्रह्म सरे गम पधनी सरे गम पधनी सरे गम पधनी देहि कार ताल ध्वनि शुक शब मेले रास मंडल माथे नाचता दुहो राधा माधवो कुंद कुंद कतक जन झा तत गुरगुझा तत गुरगुझा रास रंग स्थले जुगल मुड़त धरी नाचत तिनि तिनि ततिनि ततिनि तिनि धो धो तद्धो तेरे के तकिनि किनि कुकुंद कुकुंद तत गुरगुझा कुकुंद कुकुंद तत गुरगुझा रस सरि अभंग नाटबर त्रिभंग मंडली रचिया सब सख समभंग द्रिमि 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 कलरव पदर नुपूड हस्तर चलन जन जमुना तरंग पदर चालन चंचल खंजन पदर चालन चंचल खंजन धरिंद धरिंद तक जन तकिट तकिट जन सखी गण मीनत करतली देयत बोलत राधा कृष्ण जय 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 राधा कृष्ण जय 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 राधा कृष्ण जय जय
This rich legacy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, which flourished in Manipur during the reign of Maharaj Bhagyacandra, was inherited and revived again during the latter part of the 20th century. The instructions given to King Bhagyacandra by Lord Krishna were again repeated in parampara by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to Swarup Damodar Das, who later came to be known as Sripad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj.
Prabhupada told me that make Manipur as the first scientific Vaishnav state.
On meeting His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada invested in his heart the urgent need to establish the scientific basis of Krishna consciousness. This saintly person was also a scientist who could unravel the mysteries of the material world through scientific methodology. The foundation of this was during his historic morning walks, where Srila Prabhupada, through impeccable logic, dismantled the weak edifice of modern scientific theory.
So mainly in 1973, Prabhupada, in his morning walk, he generally takes 1 hour morning walk, generally from 6 to 7. So during those morning walks, he was accompanied by several devotees. So those morning walks, especially in 2 areas, one is called Venice Beach, and then the other area that Prabhupada used to walk is called Sipet Hill. Generally, I was playing the role of a scientist because Prabhupada wanted in that way. And
the origin of life, let's say, everything started from matter. Living matters came out from non-living matters.
Where it is coming now? It came in the past and not in the not at present. What from ant is coming from the sun? Is there any proof? Even an ant does not come.
In fact, there are 7 theories like that about the origin of life. And they say, starting from matter, all the living matters came from non-living.
And that's all right. Why it is not coming now, rascal? Kick on your face with boots. Why it is not coming now?
It is so amazing that people believe it.
That man is fools.
The blind leading the blind.
Yeah. All rascals. Mura. Our simple formula is anyone who is not Krishna conscious, he is a rascal. Never mind what he is. And actually they are rascals, they are talking like rascals, childish. Their life came from matter. They prove it.
In accordance with his scientific pursuits, Srila Prabhupada inaugurated the Bhaktivedanta Institute, the academic wing of ISKCON, and asked Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj to shoulder the responsibility of becoming its international director. Through the Bhaktivedanta Institute, Maharaj introduced Srila Prabhupada's vision of the Bhagavad paradigm to many leading scientists of the world. Maharaj reminisces.
we should present this science and philosophy, taking these instructions from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and present this to the scientific community, so that they will also begin to take this seriously, and then the world will be benefited. That was Srila Prabhupada's plan.
Swamiji, but what is your understanding about the origin of life?
It is a modern conception of life, in other words, called Darwinian or Neo-Darwinian doctrine of life, saying that life is according to their conception, life will be generated from a combination of these molecules. They say, given a very long time span, or it's a cosmic time scale, let's say billions of years. So if you give this time scale, then life will emerge. It's called primordial chemical shift.
Although a biochemist, I must confess that I do not understand how life came about as Darwin said it would. The most primitive cell may require at least several hundred different specific biological micromolecules. How is it possible that such already quite complex structures may have come together remains a mystery to me.
The scientists are committed to understand life, that life coming from chemicals, then why don't they inject, let's say, some chemical to a dead body and revive the dead body? What is the missing chemical? Then he used to give examples of Einstein. Einstein is a very brilliant scientist, so why Einstein is dead? If you find a chemical, why did you inject the Einstein's body and revive him? So these are the questions that remain unanswered. And there is enough evidence to show that all these things are just only in the mind. These are just conceptions, and it's not going to give an answer.
I agree. I agree the possibility of existence of a creator, of God, represents to me a satisfactory solution to this problem.
So all the religious traditions and all the spiritual traditions, they acknowledge that everything is created by the Supreme Lord.
True. Science and technology alone cannot solve the problems of the new millennium. Actually, we need additional guidelines for our actions, for the selection of our research projects and research goals. And these guidelines have to do with philosophy and with faith.
As an international director of the Bhaktivedanta Institute, he had to interact with many leading personalities throughout the globe, including Nobel laureates and prominent religious leaders. An epitome of humility and compassion himself, he could appreciate these qualities in others like Nobel laureate Mother Teresa.
I see God in every human being. When I wash the wounds of these hungry, homeless, crippled children, I feel I am nursing the Lord Himself. Is it not a beautiful experience?
One must be very humble. Humble means one must be very, very respectful to every living being. Can be respectful to the mosquito, can be respectful to any living form of life. To the plant, to the trees, and to everyone.
I am so grateful for the opportunity to serve all those people who feel unwanted, unloved, uncared for throughout society, people that have become a burden to the society and are shunned by everyone.
Being a true emissary of universal brotherhood, Maharaj promoted inter-religious dialogue as a means of collaboration amongst the world religions.
I thought it is a good ground to do this conference, especially in Rome. So many leaders from different religious communities speak on also some scientists.
During one such conference entitled On the Eve of the Third Millennium, Maharaj had audience with Pope John Paul II.
We are honored that although you hail from the holy land of India, so rich in spiritual wealth, you have chosen the Vatican City to conduct this holy meeting of eminent religionists from all over the world.
Personally, I find that Rome is, because of the presence of the Vatican, it has some kind of a spiritual atmosphere. And, many people come there, but at least people's minds is a little bit bent toward spiritual dialogue.
Your friendship with various religionists could be a model for promoting peace and love among diverse people of the world. Swamiji, your compassion and love go beyond the barriers of race and religious backgrounds. We are very glad to have met a brother like you.
You are known to be an inspiration to many and have won the hearts of even more by your scientific presentation of the doctrine of the divine.
Just as there is a university for peace, Maharaj wanted to have a university of spirituality.
I'm building one university in Manipur. So this is like the temple is called a university. So this is called University of Bhagavad Culture.
Thus, Maharaj built the Sri Sri Radha Krishna Chandra temple at Imphal, Manipur. On Srila Prabhupada's instruction, Maharaj founded the Ranganiketan Manipuri Cultural Arts Troupe. Ranganiketan means house of colorful arts. Through Ranganiketan, Maharaj successfully revived the ancient art of depicting Lord Krishna's pastimes through devotional music and dance, as was inaugurated in the reign of Maharaj Bhagyacandra. Srila Prabhupada instructed him.
We should go to the colleges and universities, and he said this scientific preaching must also be accompanied by a sankirtan.
Kunda kunda kataku kunda kataka chanacha tatata gurgucha tatata gurgucha Rasa rangastale jugulu murti dhari nachat tini tini tatini tatini tini do do ta do tere kita kini kini kukunda kukunda tata gurgucha kukunda kukunda tata gurgucha necessary abhanga natabara tribhanga mandali rachiya sabasaki samabhanga drimi kalarava padara nupuda hastara chalana jana jamuna taranga padara chalana chanchala kanjana padara chalana chanchala kanjana dhatinda takajana takita jana sakigana meelata karatali deyata bolata Radha Krishna jai 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 Radha Krishna jai 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 Radha Krishna jai jai.
Having received worldwide acceptance from the academic community, Maharaj organized major conferences on consciousness and the synthesis of science and religion in different parts of the world.
And he said we should hold this type of conference, this gathering, in every city of the world, trying in a humble way how to present this aspect of Krishna consciousness.
I would like to thank the Bhaktivedanta Institute for organizing such an important conference. I learnt a lot from it. It is clear from this Congress that Vedic literature has the most comprehensive understanding regarding the unifying relationship between man and nature. This was probably the first major scientific conference on consciousness. I think the result of this conference should be summarized and submitted to the United Nations. Perhaps the Bhaktivedanta Institute could transform itself into the first university of spirituality.
The Bhaktivedanta Institute must be congratulated for bringing together so many great scholars. The hospitality of the Congress outshone even the legendary Japanese hospitality. We would now like to request Swamiji to honor His Holiness the Dalai Lama with a garland.
Brothers and sisters, I am very happy to participate in this conference which discusses the synthesis of science and religion. From my heart, I wish all success to the Bhaktivedanta Institute.
Shakurunmalitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvisesha Sunnavadi Pashyata Desha Tarine. So the conferences that we are organizing that on science and religion is an attempt to bring many scientists and scholars from around the world who actually discuss along these lines. It is a kind of a long road, but unless we don't bring them to some kind of a platform of discussion, it will remain quite slow.
This short-statured yet towering personality, nurtured by Srila Prabhupada's love, had the extraordinary credential of having cognizance of reality from the purview of both material and spiritual knowledge. A man who could fathom the intricacies of matter on one hand and scale the heights of spiritual mellows on the other. Srila Prabhupada's position is unparalleled in the history of spiritual traditions, and disciples like Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj are like beacon lights who will pave the way to illuminate the lives of generations to come. Maharaj Bhagyacandra was a saint among kings, and Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj was a king among scientists. Unto such kings of devotion, we offer our prostrated salutations and beg for the benevolence.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare